Yo, what's going on everybody? Blake here with another video. A couple different things. Today we are going to do the exhaust on my Beamer. It's a 128i 3.0 inline 6 N52 engine, and we have some maintenance things that need to be done as well. I also want to talk about the two issues that I had while I was up in Ohio. One was a coolant issue and one was a faulty ground electrical system issue. So I'm going to dive into all those and kind of tell you about those. This Mickey Mouse adapter on the coolant line. This Mickey Mouse adapter has two bolts down here, one right here and one on the other side. It looks like a Mickey Mouse head, so that's why they call it that. It runs down from here to the front of the block to the downside where there's a thermostat. You're not going to be able to see it. I can't even see it from up here, but it mounts right here to the front of the block. And it what happened was I had driven to Ohio. Everything was perfect on the 10-hour drive with stops and stuff, and then I was sitting in a parking lot talking to one of my old baseball coaches, and I noticed and I heard that my car was idling a little bit higher than normal. I look over and there's white smoke coming out of the hood, so I get in the car, shut the car off, look in the front, and I smell coolant really, really bad. So ultimately, there was coolant everywhere all over the ground, and ultimately this Mickey Mouse adapter to the front of the hose piece that mounts to the block is what was broken and hot. So as you can see, that's pretty ate up and pretty bad. And my second issue was something that threw me completely off guard. My really, really good friend, brother, I like to call him, Cody from Ohio, he finally got to drive this Beamer, and we start to drive it, and I tell him to push it harder and that kind of stuff, because this car is actually really, really fun to drive. But out of the blue, the gauge cluster started fluctuating in and out. It would shut off, come back on, shut off, come back on, and it kept giving, like, he could smell coolant, so we didn't know exactly what it was because it seemed electrical, completely. So long story short, I got caught in a massive, massive storm in Lexington, Kentucky on my way up to Ohio. And I didn't have any issues coming back up or going up the rest of the way or even the next couple days or so. But a common issue on these BMWs is in the trunk, they have this section over here on the right. In this cubby section, you pull out your carpet, you pull out this section, this panel here. There's a cubby down here that houses a black plastic piece, and it's a black molded piece that houses the tire pressure control module system. And as you can tell, this thing is wretched. Burnt inside, water inside, it looked like there was mold inside. The wires were all messed up completely on both ends. So thankfully, this isn't something that I have to obviously drive the car. Those were the two issues that I had while I was up in Ohio. But now we're gonna dig into the exhaust and figure out what the issue is. Alright, so I'm going to take you guys under here with me so you can see what I'm going to show you with the exhaust. It looks like the gasket seal maker worked. That doesn't seem to be an issue. My mid pipe here is actually hanging lower than normal than what it was when I first got it. So the issue was that it seemed like they started from the back and worked their way up, because this hanger back here was not hanging where it should have been. As you can see, it's a little bit closer to where it should be, but it was angled like this with the hanger. And with these hangers, you want these to be hanging straight down, so this needed to be either placed farther forward or find a way to mount this hanger, the rubber mount of the hanger, in a different position, so that way it wasn't pulling back and just pulling straight down and keeping it tight. But it's also vibrating here on the cross member. As you can see, it's laying right on top of it. So I'm assuming that is from this not being in the hanger how it should be. So Devin just got here. We are actually gonna go grab some hardware, 4 bolts, 4 nuts, 4 washers for the exhaust, and a new gasket. Hopefully they have another one, and then that should fix all of our problems with the issue that we had. Catch y'all in a second. Devin rolled up in this Mazda wagon, and this thing is sick. It's on Mustang wheels, and they actually look phenomenal. I love this thing. This thing is really cool, actually. I'm a big fan. I like the green. It's not overbearing. It looks like it's on springs or coilovers because it sits really freaking nice. I like this. So we did just finish up the Beamer for today. The gasket still needs replaced. They didn't have one at the parts store for us today, unfortunately, so we'll get that tomorrow morning along with that oil filter housing seal. We can pick that up today. We can get that done this week before we go to Ohio. I'll do a couple quick revs with the exhaust so you can actually hear what it sounds like. That was up to 7,000.
Damn, it don't even sound like it.
It's loud.
Yeah.